Hi, have you heard about Portugal Residence Permit Program for foreigners, the D7 visa? This is one of the easiest, cheapest, and fastest pathways to migrating to Portugal as a resident. And after 5 years, you can decide to become a permanent resident or apply for Portuguese nationality, which automatically makes you an EU citizen. This program is for those who have a stable monthly income. It is also for retired foreign citizens who have passive income or a stable income, such as movable property or properties, real estate, intellectual properties, or any kind of financial investment, regardless of your age, provided you show proof of your income. Migrating to Portugal through D7 visa comes with great benefits. You would have access to Portugal residence rights, just like I do. You would have access to professional activities in Portugal, good education, good healthcare, social security, recognition of diplomas and qualifications, trade union protection, and you have access to free movement to other Schengen space or zone and so forth. Therefore, in this video, I'll be interviewing Feishayo, a Nigerian who applied for a D7 visa from Lagos, Nigeria, and got it approved in 60 days. She'll be sharing her experience with us, the step-by-step process she followed and all the requirements that are involved, just to guide anyone looking forward to applying for a D7 visa from Nigeria. I hope you find this video interesting. I hope you find it useful. If you do not forget to hit the like button. Yes, give me a thumbs up. It helps my videos greatly. And if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please hit the subscribe button for more informative videos. If you're ready for this video, then let's get started. Hi, Feishayo.
Hi.
Can you hear
Hi,
me very
Emily.
well?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Thank you so much for coming. I truly appreciate your time.
No problem. It's my
How's your
pleasure.
weekend going?
Well, going well, enjoying Lisbon and just like having a very chill weekend after a long week.
Nice. How's the weather? It's quite
It's
sunny
kind of
here.
chilly. Well, here it's
Oh,
chilly.
really? It's sunny
Yeah.
here. Okay.
Lisbon could get chilly for me anyway, maybe because I'm just coming from from Nigeria.
From
So.
Nigeria, I think so. That's why.
Yeah, but it's not as cold as London or them other countries.
Yeah.
But it's yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. So we just go straight to I've got my phone here with me, so I have few questions for you.
Okay. No
Don't
problem.
worry. No, it's just it's just for you to share your experiences with us, okay?
Yes.
All right. So, like I told you before, I'm gonna be sharing this on my YouTube channel, and
Okay.
because I've received quite a lot of emails from people asking me to talk about D7 visa. I've read some articles online as well, but I've not been able to, come up here and talk about it because I want to be very sure. So the first time you reached out to me on Instagram and you told me you got D7 visa from Nigeria, I was like, wow. I've been here, people have been getting D7 visa, but this, the day we spoke was the first time I could hear that somebody could actually do it from Nigeria.
From Nigeria,
yeah.
right.
And that was why I got so much interested in your story. And I just wanted you to share with us so that my viewers who are interested in, coming through that pathway will be able to know what exactly to do, the right process to follow. So,
right.
Okay. So the question I have here, the first one says, could you please share with us about your D7 visa application process all the way from Nigeria, our beautiful country?
Yeah. Okay. So, first of all, the application is done in person. So you need to go to the embassy in Abuja, the VFS in Lagos or the one in Abuja. they don't handle long stay visa applications.
Mm-hmm.
So the application is done directly with the embassy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't usually need an appointment for this visa, so you can just go in on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Of course, you'd have to check like the opening times online, call them. They're usually very responsive on their phones and they give you information over the phone. If it's something serious, they'll give you an email, or something they need to reply over email, they'll give you an email to direct your questions to, and they usually respond in like 1 day or 2 days, which was my own experience with them. So when I wanted to start the process, I first placed a call to the embassy, the number on the website. If you Google Embassy of Portugal, Abuja, you find a phone number that you can make a call to. So I asked questions because, like you said, I've heard a lot about D7 visa, but I didn't know anyone who had gotten the visa. So I decided to go directly to the embassy to ask my questions. Okay. So I called the number and I was asked to send a message, a request to an email officially asking for the required documents for the kind of visa I needed, which I did. I can share the email I was given, maybe with you, so you can share with in the description or something. Okay. So I sent an email to them and they emailed me back with the list of documents I needed. And then I worked with that.
Wow.
And the process took about 60 days, exactly 60 days from the time I applied to get in my
short.
Yeah, to get in my visa, which I had to arrange the pickup of, and the rest is, history.
It sounded like it's not that difficult, like to get started. It's not that difficult, and you call them and they were able to pick up your calls. Like Portuguese embassy, for example, sometimes you can call them online, they will answer you. So okay, that's
so another
great
thing
to
I'll
know.
add is, like
Go
you
ahead.
said, they won't answer, but I noticed the embassy is only opened on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is probably the best time to call on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 9 and 12 for them to answer your
between 9 and 12. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's good to know. So, but could you share with us what are the documents required for this application process? Like someone who wants to, start the D7 visa processing, what are the documents that the person may need?
Okay, so for me, I applied based on the fact that I work remotely I can work from anywhere.
Okay.
Anywhere I am, anywhere in the world, basically. So based on the requirements, I submitted. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, great. Okay, so I submitted a contract from my company, so my employment letter from my company, and a letter from the HR saying that I could work from anywhere, that I have permission to work from anywhere in the world.
Okay.
And I also added my pay slips.
Like how many months?
So I had 4 months of pay slips.
4 months. Okay.
Yes. And in the list that was sent, remember I said I emailed the embassy asking for a list of documents. So in the list that was sent, it didn't have bank statement required. But when I got there to submit my application, I was asked for a bank statement, specifically the one where I received my income. Okay. So I had to leave the embassy to print that bank statement. So I have to add that anyone applying for a D7, even if you don't get bank statements in your list, if you decide to email them, please go in with a bank statement showing your monthly income.
Okay.
And you can also add a statement showing savings. But like I said, I didn't go there with a bank statement and I didn't have a bank statement showing my savings, which is like, the Nigerian account. But I was able to show the man who was taking my application on my app. It kind of waived it for me because I couldn't print it out, because Nigerian statements, I couldn't go to the bank at that time to get it printed out and all of that. Yes, so I didn't use a bank statement with savings, but I'm not saying you can submit your application without having a bank statement with savings. But I was able to show that I received a particular amount every month. So, which I think is probably the most important part of, and then that's all regarding work. And then moving on, you also need your valid passport plus a photocopy of your biodata page and a photocopy of all the visas in your passport. So you need to have, it's very, very important to have a photocopy of any other visas you've had, because I had the situation where I had to leave to go make the photocopies and then come back before my application was accepted. Also, if you have expired passports, also make a photocopy of those pages. If you have old resident permits from other countries, make a photocopy and put it together with your biodata file.
Okay, I have a question that you just came to my mind right now.
Yeah.
How do I ask this question? Okay, have you traveled out before making this application?
Yes, I have.
Do you think that increased your chances?
I don't know if it did, because I really don't think it made any impact on my application. I would say my application was treated based on the fact that I had the required income to work or to live in Portugal, and I had the requirements that were stated. So I don't think it's impacted my application in any way.
Okay, you know why I asked? Because maybe someone might come across this video and the person might be thinking you must have traveled abroad, before you can start up this application. That was why I asked that question, so that anyone, even if you haven't traveled abroad before,
even if you haven't, you can
still go ahead and apply for
another thing.
D7.
Let me even jump. So I had an appointment here. Yeah, so I had an appointment here with the immigration office. They weren't even interested in my old passports at all. It was because
sorry, what kind of appointment? For your residence permit?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
But I'll explain in details, that process. So it's just, if you have it, then they will request for it to be added. I initially didn't go, but because I had all of my files, so the man asked for it, but I don't think it had any effect on it. And another thing I remember is because I had a police report from France where I lived in the past, and he really just waved it off, I don't need it because, you don't live there anymore. So, I don't think, nobody should think you need travel history. You have to build travel history in some way. So as long as you have your documents in place, then
okay, that sounds very good. So even if someone doesn't have any travel history whatsoever, the person can also apply for D7 visa. Okay.
Absolutely.
Another question I have, because I've actually, like I said earlier on, I've read so many articles regarding D7 visa, and one thing I found out was it has to do with the salary, just like when you were talking about your salary, that you needed to add your pay slip. Okay. So my question is this: must your salary be more than the minimum wage of Portugal before you can apply for a D7 visa? Do they have a specific figure, a specific salary you must be receiving every month before you can apply?
So the embassy didn't state any number to me.
Okay.
But from my own research and from my own personal research, the minimum wage in Portugal is probably 600 and something,
650 as at now. Yes.
So it makes sense for you to have over that. So if you do your calculations and you take out tax or whatever that you might be due to pay, or social security, make sure your salary, your figure after the tax payments is still above the minimum wage. That is just my own opinion. So nobody really has given me any number. So my income is well above the average. So I didn't really have to worry too much about it. But I would say that with 1,000 euros, 1,002 euros every month, you will be fine.
Okay. So if someone's salary is 1,100 euros every month, the person can apply for a D7 visa. Okay.
Yes, I believe. Yes. Yes.
I'll still find out more about this
But
because
then again, I would also say that if you have income that's not from employment, there's
okay,
maybe
maybe
rental
you do a
income.
business or something.
Yes, or you get rental income, you get dividends from your investments. Portugal has this NHR regime that
Yes.
when you have rental income and
Mhm.
dividend income, you don't have to pay taxes for 10 years.
Mhm.
So I guess in that situation, you can have probably 800 a month and still scale through because there's no social security or taxes to be paid on your income. Does that
Great.
make sense?
Okay, yeah, I understand perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know I received an email from a lady that lives in Dubai or Qatar, I don't know, around that area. She's also interested in the D7 visa, and she was telling me that she has a business. And I remember from what I read online, it has to do with people who work remotely, that you can
Yeah.
work from anywhere in the world. So, but
Or you have passive income as well.
you have passive income. Okay.
So it could be rental income,
Mhm.
dividends from investments, interest from maybe you have a large savings. So for example, piggyvest is an example. So let's say somehow you're a rich person, you have 100 million in your piggyvest and you get 12% interest every year. Your 12% interest is like 12 million per year, which is well over the average. So with that income that you get monthly or the interest that you get monthly, that's also passive income. And I believe it would suffice for the application.
Okay.
Yes, because there's many. So I'm on a group on Facebook. I don't want to share the name of the group, where it's mostly Americans.
Yes.
That apply for it.
For D7 visa.
And yes,
and
many
British
of them.
too.
Yes,
a lot of Brits, they apply
a lot
for
of
it.
them. So many of them only put in application with showing that they get interest, maybe 6% of their capital. So they don't have a job or anything, but they're moving here based on the fact that they get a particular amount of dividends every year. So
nice.
And many of them get refused as well. So don't think because the Americans, they're getting the visa and you as a Nigerian wouldn't get it.
Exactly. This is
because
exactly...
in their groups,
their
groups, a lot of people come and say, oh, I was refused a visa because this, that. Even their American passport privilege didn't help them in that situation. So I'm just putting that out there so you don't think, oh, they're Americans, so they'll probably get it. But as long as you do things right with Portugal, your visa would be granted.
I'm so happy you mentioned this because so many Nigerians might be thinking, oh, maybe I'm not qualified. And our people are so brilliant. I'm so proud of Nigerians when it comes to, some certain things, that, but that, what will I call it? That inferiority complex is always in a lot of Nigerians.
No, passport privilege is a real thing. So passport privilege is actually a very real thing. So I won't really call it inferiority complex, but we have to appreciate the fact that American passports carries more power than
that we know.
But
the thing is just to let our people, to know that they can actually apply for a D7 visa and they get it.
Yeah.
Because I believe so many people. Okay, another woman also met me online on Instagram and she got it. She told me she's coming in with her 4 children. So that means Nigerians are applying for this and they are getting it. So it's just to kind of encourage people, anyone who wants to apply for it. Because on my YouTube channel, I talk about more on study in Portugal. Until I started getting some emails regarding D7 visa. And I'm so glad we are talking about it here. So if anyone is not interested in studying, right? Because so many people, they just want to come through that pathway to Portugal, not that they're actually interested in studying. But this is another pathway that anybody who feels, he or she is qualified can also come through this pathway, Okay. That is that. But what were the challenges you went through or you faced?
So I'm not done listing the I think I'll finish listing the documents.
Yeah, we are still on the document. Oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
No,
Okay,
I'm not done. So,
please go ahead.
passports, photocopy of passports, every details of your passports. Just get anything you have in your passports, get photocopy and go travel with the originals as well. And you
Okay.
also need 2 passport photographs. So like, a photo picture. I'm talking about picture
Passport
now.
photograph, yeah.
Photograph here, 2 on white background. Go to any studio. I'm sure if you Google, like, if you're in Lagos, I don't want to recommend any business, but if you're in Lagos, just find a studio that does visa photography, and they would tell them the country and they'll get for you. And then the next document is a police character certificate from, if you're in Lagos, it's in Alagbo. I don't know where you can get it from in other states, but just get a police character certificate. And you first of all need to get it authenticated at Ministry of Foreign Affairs, also in Abuja. Yes, before you can submit the application. So that's number 1. For me, I was able to use a proxy, so I didn't have to travel twice to Abuja to first authenticate and then go back for my application. So you can work out how to get that done on your own in a way that works for you. And then the next thing is to have evidence of accommodation in Portugal. So for me, I booked a place for 6 months from the date I wanted to travel into the country. So I had a 6 months reservation. I paid the deposit to the company that I used to book. And I had a proof of payment, official proof of payment on letterheaded paper from the company that I booked with. Please don't use any hotel reservation. Don't use booking.com, because there was a student who was supposed to be submitting his application on the same day I was doing my application. He was rejected because he had a hotel booking. So just keep that in mind as well. He was asked to get another, not rejected, like his application was not accepted.
Yeah,
because
but the accommodation was rejected.
Yes, exactly. And moving on, you also need travel insurance for a period of at least 1 year. I used AXD for that. Axaman said there's so many insurance companies that you can use to buy, and it wasn't expensive at all. So it was probably 20-something thousand. And then there's some forms you need to fill, which you fill in the embassy. And the man was kind enough to guide me through filling it, because most of it was in Portuguese. So you don't really need to worry too much about the forms. And you also need a flight reservation. Now, for me, I didn't pay for any flight reservation. So I'm just going to drop a tip here for anyone who wants to have a flight reservation for the visa purpose. Because number 1, you've not gotten the visa, and I would not recommend buying your ticket before you get the visa, because plans can change. Things might happen, you won't be able to make your flight. So I just went on British Airways and checked for the date that I was planning to fly. And if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a place where you can enter your email, where they send you a quote to your email. Just print that email and use it. That's what I use for my application. So don't pay any money to reserve any flight.
But I know usually when people book a flight, make reservation online, they don't pay. Like what I usually tell my students is this: you can make a reservation online. I think it usually takes 24 hours or 2 days. I don't know.
To cancel.
Okay, so I usually tell them to do that when you are going to the embassy, so that you just submit, even if it's been cancelled. Of course, you're not going to pay any money because you've not gotten a visa yet. So I get that. Okay, please go ahead.
And then you also pay visa fee in Naira. So they give you after you submit your application, they check all your documents. Once you have all your complete documents, and they take it in, you fill your forms. They give you a paper with the bank details and the amount for you to pay into the bank. So you cannot pay in the embassy. I don't know if things would have changed now, but the last time I was there, I had to go to the bank to pay cash into the account I was given. And I was given the exchange rate for the day. I don't remember exactly how much, but I know it came up to 105 euros. So it was probably less than 60K that I had to pay in the bank for the entire fees.
Okay.
And
that's the visa application, right?
Yes, the visa application fee, exactly. And that's all the documents I put in. Yeah.
Okay. It sounds easy.
It is easy.
Anyway, all application in Portugal, actually, they are not hectic, so to say, because I've experienced some of them. The only problem I know, most of my students, people who are coming through school, the problem they are going through is the embassy itself,
Yes.
because
there's a lot of ways the process.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I
especially
experienced
from
that as well.
Nigeria.
You need a lot of patience if you're dealing with, and that's what I'll just tell you, go with your patience and be ready to wait.
Exactly. Could you share the challenges you've faced so far?
So for me, the only challenge, I would say, I wouldn't even call it a challenge. So I would say the only part that wasn't very interesting for me was probably having to, because I live in Lagos, so I had to fly to Abuja to do the application. That's one. And two, like you said, the wait process. And I've had experiences with other embassies. I've never had an experience where I had to go to the bank to pay and then, go back and then wait to drop the receipt and then wait to get a printout. So that's the only part that I would say was a bit that threw me off. But like I said, just go with your patience. Like you need it when you're dealing with the embassy.
I think that is a general thing when it comes to Portuguese embassy, because even when you go there as a student to go and submit your visa application, they have a particular bank you go to. You go there, pay the money.
You the exact bank.
Then you come back to the embassy and all that. Well, it's a journey. So anyone who, if you know what you're looking for, you just have to, be patient and go through it. Okay.
Yes.
So, but why did you choose Portugal? Because I understood you were once in France, probably other countries. Why did you choose Portugal? And how have you been enjoying Portugal?
So far. Okay, so that's a very good question. So, why did I choose Portugal? So for one, I would say it's very immigrant friendly from what I've heard and from what I've experienced. Is even though the language is different, they're very, very international. Most of them speak English. I haven't had a lot of problems communicating because once I would say I'm literally just surviving on hello, goodbye in Portuguese. That's all I know. And speaking English the rest of the time. So for me, I really wanted to take a break from Nigeria and work, be in Europe. Yes. And travel again like I used to before COVID, and just be somewhere else. And Portugal offered the option to take my work with me and be here legally. And they also have the NHR that anyone who comes here would benefit from. And I get to be in a place with good internet, a stable country, and just have my peace of mind and stuff. And if I stay here long term, up to 5 years, I've heard that I could potentially get a passport, citizenship. So it's a good so it's a good opportunity for anyone who is looking for something like that. So nice. I guess that's my reason.
But how, I know you've met with so many Portuguese, how friendly are they? Because to us, this Portugal and the Portuguese people, they are quite friendly people. They are family-oriented people. They love children. They don't joke with children. When I take my kids out during summer, this is how they'll just be kissing them, be loving them, they'll give them chocolates. No, they are just family-friendly people. And naturally, they are friendly people. So I believe
I'll share my experience from the first day. So the first day I landed, I went to Colombo. If you're not in Lisbon, you might not know.
Yes,
but there's
Lisbon.
a mall.
No, I've heard about it.
So I had to go buy because I came while it was cold and I needed to buy cold stuff. And then I saw a bank, the bank I was trying to open my account with.
Okay.
Yes, so I didn't know that day was a public holiday. So I was waiting and thinking, because I went there, it was like midday at that time. And I was waiting like in front of the bank, thinking they were on break and they were going to open soon. And then a Portuguese girl, she saw me and she came to speak Portuguese to me, like trying to tell me something. I was like, oh no, sorry, English. And then she took her phone and then typed on her phone and said, it's a public holiday, they're not going to open. And then she showed it to me. And that was when I knew, like, oh, I'm just waiting for,
Imagine.
Yeah, so that was like probably my first interaction with a Portuguese person. And that was like the kindest thing anybody, and I've had so many other experiences where it's like just been very good. And this is not me sugarcoating it or anything. It's just been really, really good.
No, they are nice. Sincerely, they are nice. And I also love the parts, when you were talking about this language. Obviously, the language is a barrier. And that's why most people like us who came from, that our mother tongue is English, it's very difficult, adapting when you come to a country where, they speak different language from what you grew up knowing, right? So it's always difficult when you come in. At first, when I came in here, I told my husband, I'm not going to stay. But right now, I'm just loving it. Seriously.
The same with me. I had my plan B set up. I'm like, I could be here for another year. I could be here for a few months and see. But,
Yeah, when we came in, I told my husband, oh no, how can I just be here? I don't understand the language. But right now, my 5-year-old speaks fluently, both English and Portuguese. But what I'm saying is, obvious, sometimes like you go to the hospital, in fact, the family doctor assigned to us speaks English fluently, very well, and we got a job where, it's an English environment. So the only time I get to speak Portuguese or maybe try to, speak the little that I've learned so far is in the mall, maybe when you have to do 1 or 2 communication. But you can also avoid that because everything you want is just there. Just pick and go. And you just drop your card, drop money, and you go your way. But it's always good to, also
you
learn
definitely
the
need to, so that you can integrate properly.
Exactly.
And I've heard that the country offers free classes that, once I know 100%, So
I would also encourage you to apply for it. It's free of charge.
Yes,
so that you 100%. Can start learning the language. It's one of the mistakes I made. And I wouldn't want anybody to make that mistake because my husband and I, we just came in and we got a job and, we didn't even bother learning the language. But right now, it's just so like, we just have to learn this language if you decide to stay here, because we actually didn't plan to stay here up to now. We're like, no, we just stay for maybe work for 1 or 2 years, then we'll run.
That was me too.
But right now we love it here.
Exactly. I had my plan B lined up and now I'm like, maybe not so much.
Yeah, maybe not immediately. Maybe. We all have plans, maybe not immediately, but just I would encourage you to just enjoy Portuguese people and try to learn how to eat their food.
Yeah,
and the weather is beautiful. It's not like
the weather is
other
good.
countries in Europe.
Yeah, it's good. It's chilly,
you enjoy it
it's
more
okay
during summer. It's because you came from Nigeria. I was like that earlier. Like when I came.
No, I've seen cold though. This one is not cold, but it's still cold. It's still cold. Like I don't own any heavy coats. And that's all I have to say about heavy, thick coats with jacket, that you need in countries. No, I can survive with regular warm stuff.
But that is because you're in Lisbon.
It's still cold. Yeah, for me it's still
cold. That's because you're in Lisbon. Braga is colder. Braga is colder than Porto. Then anyone living in Fatima is very cold. So we still have some cities in Portugal that are very cold. But Lisbon, a lot of Americans and the Brits, they just run to Lisbon because the weather there is just beautiful.
It's mild,
Then
today 16 degrees, so.
Oh, you see? Not fine. It's just it's not that very cold, really.
No, it's not very cold, but that's why I said chilly.
Another
You can
place
still
you
feel
can
it as
live
in
is
Nigerian, it's Italy.
Aveiro. Aveiro is
Oh,
still
okay.
not cold. Coimbra is not
Yeah.
very cold, you know. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much,
No
Faye.
worries.
It's been a good time. It's been a great time speaking with you. And I believe this video will help anyone out there looking forward to apply for D7 visa in Portugal. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing your time with us, okay?
No problem. You're welcome.
Thank you, and have a blessed weekend and new week
You too.
ahead.
Yes, you
Bye.
too. Thank you so much.